take a couple of questions about space, the Mariana Trench, or the Titanic. A lot of people love the Titanic, especially like over the last year, because that was so crazy. But happy to answer any questions if you have one, and if not, afterwards come and get a sticker while they last.
Randy, do you need a mic?
No. That's a great talk. I have one question. Can you comment more about the overview effect and how we can actually translate that to more people since it's so powerful?
Yeah, great question. The overview effect, for those of you that don't know, is what you just saw on my face when I was talking about space. It is absolutely real. It's a physiological thing. You can't help, I promise you, if all of you who said you wouldn't go went and saw that, you would physiologically experience the same thing that I did. You'd be like, well, first of all, you'd say this. You'd say, holy crap, like that's crazy. Like your brain would just be unable to process. And you would see this eternal blackness, and you would see the earth, and you'd be like, I cannot believe I'm actually seeing this. So it's this surreal nature of seeing the earth from space. I think the beauty of all of that is, in what I feel particularly compelled to talk to groups like this, is just sharing to your point, man. What's your name? Stephanie. Stephanie's point of like, we would feel so connected. The world's problems would melt away. We would be much more unified. I will tell you, from traveling the world, I have such an appreciation. Like, do not let the media dupe you. Great news. So do not be deterred. Do not believe that people are out to get one another. They are not. We have a beautiful species. We really are. I mean, we are a wonderful, kind, generous, compassionate species. We are all good. Sometimes things go wrong and can turn us a little, against each other, but overall, we are a wonderful species, an amazing species. And I think that's what you see from space.
More questions?
Anyone throw up in either one of those situations?
No on either. I was pretty close on the diving part, on the ascent. That was really rough. But yeah, no. Hi.
Thanks for coming. Did you have to take a physical? Did they require that before you went into space?
No, I did centrifugal force training though, and the reason is so no, we had people there were 2 crew members on our space trip that were in their late 70s. So as long as you're in reasonably good shape, they now have an elevator to take you to the 10th floor to get you into the capsule. So they're preparing. In fact, they have a second and third vehicle now that they're preparing, so that it's going to be much more accessible to those of you that are interested in going. So, but I did centrifugal force training more to settle my brain, to make sure that I knew when I was encountering these G-forces that I was able to, handle it, not pass out, which was my biggest.
Did you have residual vestibular issues after?
No, it's just when I see that rocket take off, like when my daughter went a couple months ago, and I saw it turn and tilt, I still it was like, oh man, I remember that. And so it's, no, it's fine.
I just have one other question.
Thanks.
Pardon me, I'm a nurse, so.
No, you're good.
So you said you held it, quote unquote, when you went down in the ocean. I would doubt that would be really a way to deal with it for 14 hours. So did they strap something on you, or
Good question.
For the details.
No, so how many of you are interested in this? Yeah. So no, I didn't have like a, whatever. No, but there is a trick. And I'm gonna step out of camera on this. So the trick is you take a really hot shower before you go, like really hot, like scalding hot, and then they instruct you to go in the shower, like pee in the shower, and you don't eat, and you limit your fluids, like the day before, not like you don't drink anything, but you're not like chugging a pint of beer the night before, and you're not eating a ton because you don't really want to, diapers were optional. I didn't want any of that. I just, and I'm proud to say 100% good on everything. And so, I didn't need to, I did I did do the diaper thing in space because I had an astronaut tell me, man, you need to do the whole, the full experience, have the full experience. So I shredded, I was one of those crew members that were like, I want a diaper. It's good. I was like, I'm loving this. This is great. And then we had a 40-minute hold on at the tower. And I was like, yeah, so that was good. So that was great. First time doing that, yeah. And then, but Mariana Trench, totally fine, totally good. But thank you for asking, nurse. Yeah, that's great.
Hard hitting questions.
Yes, something I wouldn't
We're a little ahead of schedule, so if anybody has any more questions, I mean, we just got Jim Kitchen to admit he wore a diaper. Just keep it coming. Yeah. Lee.
Can you just talk about the range of emotions on the 15-minute ride in space? I mean, I'm sure fear, excitement, anxiety, peacefulness. I mean, how does all that translate in a 15-minute ride?
Yeah, it's more than just a 15-minute ride. It's the 7 stages of grief. I had this thing of like the 7 stages, maybe 8 stages of space travel, and so all those all those emotions. But I said my goodbyes. Like I said my goodbyes to my family and my friends for weeks before, because you're sitting on 10,000 gallons of liquid hydrogen and oxygen, and it's just like it could be like boom, gone, right? And so that was the excitement of going, the denial. Oh my gosh, I'm actually going. The fear, like legitimate fear, like, something could happen. The uncertainty. Okay, well, when is it gonna happen? It's been delayed. It's still delayed. Okay, now we're going. And then the panic of like getting everything together, and then you're there in the intense like training. You do 3-4 days of training, and training is all about the things that can go wrong. And then I brought my family and friends out. And so it was that feeling again of, I love you guys. If I don't make it, I love you. I have lived a wonderful, full life. Thank you for being here, and all of that. And then you're sitting there on the tower, and you're listening, like the countdown's coming, and you're like, oh my gosh, this is really gonna happen. And then it happens, and then your vestibular system goes crazy, and then you're gonna pass out, and like, I don't wanna be the only person that's ever gone to space and passed out. It's like, right? And then you see that, and the overview effect, and then you come down, and you land, and it's just the joy of being able to share that with family and friends and you guys. It's, spectacular.
At any point of time, just stand still, like you're just up there.
The 4 minutes, if I could share with you those 4 minutes, right? If you could have that, if I could give that to you for Christmas, I would. Those 4 minutes is just bliss. And it's not the 0G weightlessness is part of it. That's fun, right? but I had done, if you guys want, you could do a 0G flight. It's, you know, relatively inexpensive. You go down to Orlando and do one of those, and you get 30 seconds of weightlessness like 20 times, and these parabolas. That's easy. But it's that view, right? It's quiet. You see those out the window. You see that thing, that image that I showed you, and it's life changing. It's spectacular because we do live on this amazing planet, and to be able to see it from up there is just, you know, so special.
What are one or two adventures on Earth that have put the biggest smile on your face?
Great question. I am at my best when I go and see places like Madagascar. When you're, and it's not the animals or, you know, the cool fun stuff. It's interacting with just normal, ordinary people that are doing extraordinary things. I think of this woman named Margarita, who is selling these things called bajias, and she has a line from here to the front door for, and she's selling their carb-rich little like cakes, and that's the only thing that these kids that are in line will eat the entire day. So she's a hero to these people, and learning how to, getting her to take a minute and show me how to make a bajia and why they're so important, and talking to the parents and seeing, like, she's a hero. She's a local hero. And so to be able to see that all around the world, space was cool. Mariana Trench was cool, but what's really cool, y'all get out and travel more. Like, get out and see those experiences. Go to the Cayman Islands and Turks and Caicos, awesome beaches, but get out and explore Africa. Cameroon, I'm going back there next summer. It's like a photographer's paradise. I mean, it's insane. It's amazing. It's somewhere you just have to go back. The southern part of Ethiopia, it's still like Africa. If you guys grew up watching or seeing National Geographic, and it's still sort of undiscovered, and people live like they did 200 years ago, and it's authentic. It's beautiful. It's, you know, spectacular.
Jim?
Hey.
So how much does it cost to go up into space? The median housing price in China, $620,000.
Yes. So I am still on a non-disclosure agreement, and you will never see anything written about how much they charge for that. I will say this to you: if you have means, you should spend it and go. And I can sort of tell you privately, like give you a range of, you know, you can ask me, and I go, you know, but they won't allow me to tell you. In fact, they don't tell people until it's like, until they know. But yeah, but it's worth it.
My question is, does your wife know how much it costs?
The real number
Yeah.
or the makeup number?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got time for more questions. Stephanie had a question.
Yes, I just want to say thank you for sharing your perspective, and you know, it's most definitely a unique perspective for so few people to have physically experienced the depths of the ocean and the far reaches of how a very vast universe from a physical perspective. But I would like to offer, and I know you know this because you've traveled in different countries, that there are many cultures and spiritualities and religions where, and practices where you actually can achieve those blissful states without it costing anything. And we have the capacity as human beings to see beyond these kind of lines and arbitrary, imaginary borders and things that we draw to divide. You know, I hope that with the advancement of our technology, that finally, hopefully, our spiritual maturity and our social maturity can be on par with our technology, so that we actually can create peace and bliss and freedom for everyone. So I just wanted to put some context around what I said, and thank you so much for sharing these amazing experiences.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that, and thank you for that perspective. You don't need to, you're right, you don't need to travel to get all of that, but it certainly does help if I was an 18-year-old college student who had traveled some, but you begin to pick up these little lessons everywhere you go, and you take something from, you give something and then you take something from every place that you go that's a little bit off the beaten path. But you're right, you don't need to go, but I would just encourage people, because sometimes we all get stuck in our ways, and like our neighbors all look the same as us, and we think the same way, and then you go and you speak to a shaman in, I don't know, Bolivia, and he opens your mind to, wow, this is not the way that I do things, but how you do, you know? And it's beautiful, and then so you just have a collection of those things, and it makes your world a bigger place. Does that make sense? Yeah. So, but thank you for those beautiful insights. Yeah. And thank you guys for letting me come and share this with you today.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jim Kitchen. We're going to do some quick announcements.